right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Testing. Mic check. Mic check. Testing. Can you guys hear me? Let's see what we got here. What's up, Omega? What's up? Life will change. I agree. What's up? The title absolutely did. What's up, Jay? Yeah, tomorrow is our it's your guest appearance, right? If I can let me go check the Discord. I want to make sure I got the dates right. Code. Where was it? Yeah, yeah, okay. I just want to make sure. All right, yeah, Wednesday, tomorrow. So yeah, I'll make a quick announcement real quick. Yes, J Man, aka Code J. He will have a guest appearance here tomorrow on a live stream. And it's going to be fun. He's going to introduce himself, his channel, what he's been doing. He's got into content creation. He's doing a wonderful job as a content creator. He makes great gaming content, breakdowns, retrospectives, and stuff like that. I really like his content. So yeah, he'll be coming onto the channel tomorrow. So I would love for you guys to come in and show some support to a community member of the Mugen TV community. All right, so let's see what we got here. What's up, Valerian? Wish we went back to the days when fans didn't have easy access to speak directly to developers. Yeah, we're gonna get into that. The mic is fine. What a pleasure. What's up? What's up, man? What's up, King? What's going on? All right, I just want to know, like, what do you think about this mic? As you can see here, I got a new mic. I got a new mic sent to me by a company called Fine Fine. Sent me a microphone. This is a budget microphone. Budget microphone cost me $54, but they sent it to me and they gave me a boom arm to test out for you guys. There will be a review on this, so I won't go too deep into it. You'll find out when I put the review up. But this is a budget microphone. This is like $20 or $30 less than the Blue Yeti microphone. So I definitely want to hear your thoughts on what you think so far. I'm testing it out, and it's LED too. You can light it lights up and everything, and it's pretty cool. I just want to hear your thoughts. What you think about like the sound right now? Playing some Mortal Kombat Deception on PS2, cool. Preheating the oven right now. What's up, Tavon? I'm having a router change around, so I'll be offline briefly. Okay, gotcha. Sounds good to me. Okay, what's up, PWX? Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Lost Monster. Sounds great. All right, good. Just wanted to make sure. I'll be testing out this mic for the next couple of days. But one of the videos that I'll be posting up, because I pre-recorded a lot of videos, so you won't see this mic in my pre-recorded videos because I did those videos before before they contacted me and sent me this. So we'll be testing this out for the next couple of videos and also the next couple of streams to see if you guys like the sound quality of this. And I definitely want to hear a difference with this and everything. So that's cool. Sounds great. Same as the last mic. Then again, I haven't been around. Yo, what's up, Master Aussie? Yeah, I have an archive stream of our last stream, which was a couple days ago. So you can go check that out to compare the sounds. Yeah. I'm really liking this mic. I am really liking this mic, especially this boom arm. And the thing is, I needed a new boom arm too. And I was gonna go shopping for a new mic. And these guys out of nowhere, it's like they just read my mind and just contacted me. Also, I've been contacted by a few indie game developers, and they want me to try out some of their games. So I can't announce what those games are, but I'm in talks with them right now, and we'll see where that goes to see if I end up testing out these games and stuff to present to you guys here on this channel and stuff like that. It's out of nowhere. I've been getting contacts out of nowhere from indie developers and from companies to try out try out some of their products and stuff. So that's cool. They said they've been watching my content. They say they like my content and stuff like that. So that's cool. All right. So yeah. before we get into the discussion of this video of this stream where we're just talking about how social media ruined gaming in general, there's a couple of announcements I want to make real quick. Starting with, let me go bring up what I wanted to bring up here before we even do that. Yeah, let me go bring this up. Share screen. No. Yeah, okay, cool. As always, if you new here on my channel and you only know that I create, if you only know me from Twitter or whatever like that, you can check out my YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel. It's my main channel, Mugen TV, Mugen Lord. You can go check that. You can go check that out. Like I said, I took my channel to a different direction this time around. My Mugen Lord channel, the direction I'm taking it in now, my channel is gonna be more of a thesis type of channel when it comes to gaming. Like actually breaking down to the core and and have nuanced discussions when it comes to the gaming industry, game design philosophies, and things like that. And I'm enjoying it is because this type of content is considered evergreen content, and evergreen content is the type of content that doesn't chase trends, and it never grows stale, it never grows old, if you get what I'm saying. It's not time sensitive. No matter what year, what month you watch it, it's always relevant because of the content, because of the type of content that it is. So, and also it allows me to be able to have some time to actually think out and have thought out the content that I create. And so now I don't have to keep uploading videos constantly to keep up with whatever the latest news, because chasing at the trends and talking about current news gets old really, really, really fast. And if you don't keep up with it, then you're always behind the curve. And then your channel and then your videos never really get traction, is because the news is irrelevant due to how time sensitive it is. So I'm more of a person that really likes to have nuanced discussions and everything like that. And because of this direction Mugen TV is going, I actually take my time. Some weeks it may be one video a week. Some week it may be 2 videos a week. So I'm able to be able to create the content at my pace, but I make sure that one video is informative and it has a lot of meat inside of it for you to dissect and have that discussion. And the result so far is really, really good. Really, really, really good. I'm liking the results of that. So that's what I'm doing for now on when it comes to Mugen TV. But there's still a but to all this. Let me put this, I'm gonna bring this up for you guys a second, and I'm gonna answer all your questions in a second, guys. I just want to get this out of the way so we can talk about everything, talk about the topics and other stuff. So let me bring this up. And if you guys are into JRPGs, just RPGs in general, I just started a RPG channel called Mugen TV, the RPG Haven channel. So this is like my spinoff channel. So this is gonna be like a hobby channel. So this is where I can have more freedom to talk about JRPGs and everything, and also talk about news that's going on. But it's a hobby. Like, I just have fun here. I let loose here, while my Mugen Lord channel is the main channel where I do my deep discussions, nuanced discussions. Here is just RPG related. So I put it right here for you guys to go check out in the comments. So you can click on that link. You can subscribe to the channel only if you're into just RPGs. You don't have to subscribe. You're not obligated to subscribe. But if you're really into RPGs and you just want to just chill with me and the community of this channel, definitely subscribe to the channel if that's something that you're into. So that's why I wanted to put that out there. And then of course, one more thing that I wanted to also bring up is my this other channel here. We're gonna bring up here for you guys. All right, so here is my my Venus Orion Comics channel. So for those of you guys who are interested, if you guys are new here, I started an indie comic book company back in 2020, but I launched my first book last year. which is called Variant Colors Vampire Killers, aka VK. You can call it VK for short. I had released that last year, and I had a successful campaign last year. And now we're moving on to the second chapter. Second chapter means issue 2. We're moving on to issue 2 of VK, and we are launching it digital first. On Kickstarter, and it launches next month. The first of next month. It's going to be digital first to crowdfund the book. It's 62 pages, and after it's crowdfunded and successful and everybody get their digital copy, then there will be a physical campaign right after that. But in order for that to happen, this campaign has to be successful in order for the physical version of the book to be a campaign itself. So yes, if you're interested, I'm on the wrong one. I'm on chapter 1, my previous campaign. Here we go. So there's the pre-launch page if you're interested. And the good thing about this is too, which I just made an announcement for you guys. VK chapter 1, for those of you who missed out on chapter 1, there will be a bundle, a digital bundle tier for the campaign when it launches March 1st, where you get chapter 1 and chapter 2 together. So if you're like really like, man, I really want to get into it, but I don't have chapter 1, you don't have to worry about it. You'll be able to get chapter 1 in chapters 2 campaign. You'll be able to support this campaign and also get chapter 1. So there will be a bundle. There will be a bundle pack that comes with chapter 1 and chapter 2. And when we do physical, there will be a physical bundle as well, where you'll be able to get chapter 1 and chapter 2. So don't panic. Don't worry about it. I put that in the link. So just hit the notification for the pre-launch page to be notified. So soon it launches, you'll be able to snab or support and back a tier for whatever part of this campaign that you want to support and everything. So yes, and there will also be some digital perks, which I can't announce. You'll just have to wait, and as we get closer to launch, there will be some digital perks when you go there that you'll be able to add to your digital bundle, as well as add-ons. So stay tuned for that as well when it launches. But that's pretty much what I want to clear up and get out of the way. So if you want to support Variant Colors Vampire Killers, check out my Venus Orion Comics YouTube channel, and you can check out the pre-launch page for chapter 2, and you'll be able to get the bundle for chapter 1 and chapter 2, moving in with that. So this is going to be awesome. I can't wait. I can't wait for this. This is going to be dope. All right. So anywho, let's go back. Let's see what we got here. We got Games streaming. So you wish Streets of Rage makes a return? Yeah, didn't they make a return with Streets of Rage 4? That Zelda stuff was amazing last stream, fun to listen to. Oh, I appreciate it, man. Like I said, man, I'm a big Zelda fan. Like I said, if you guys don't know, my first game that I've ever played at the age of 4 years old was The Legend of Zelda on the NES. Now, the funny part about it is, I know some of you already heard the story, but I know I've seen a lot of new names in the chat. But when I was in my mother's womb, my dad was playing the NES, and he loves Legend of Zelda. And every time he came home from work, he turned on the NES, the theme song will play, right? My parents said the day I was born, and they brought me home, and my dad went to go turn on the NES to play some Zelda, my ears perked up and my eyes was wandering around, listening to the sound, wondering where that sound was coming from. Because even while in my mom's womb, I was able to hear it, and it was familiar to me now that I'm out the womb. So I really have like a connection to Zelda. Despite how would I say this? I play a lot of the Zelda games, just not the handhelds, because I'm not a handheld guy. But when it came to the console Zelda games, I bought like every last console Zelda game, even down to most of the spinoffs and stuff like that. Big Zelda fan and everything. So when I talk about Zelda, I talk about it with passion. And it's good to see Codeman, J-Man, he just started playing Ocarina of Time. And I love when I see younger generations play the games and getting introduced to games that I used to play growing up. I love when the younger generations They get a chance to experience what I experienced, and it's fun seeing them appreciate and say, "Damn, man, I wish I was born." And I can only imagine what it was like, in this time, playing it and how much of an impact. The same way that I'm seeing the younger generation now are now playing the Final Fantasy VII PlayStation, the original version. After experiencing the remake, it made them want to go try out, and they even now comparing the difference. Say, wait a minute, I'm like an OG one better. Like, why did the remake do this in this one? I prefer this. So it's good to see, gamers and your younger generation go and try these older games so they can understand that, we're not just saying this shit out of nostalgia. No, there was a difference in gaming, a long time ago. Not saying that everything in modern gaming today is bad. I think the good thing about modern gaming today is the access that you have to a lot of games. You just got more access. That's what makes modern gaming good, is that you have access to so many games. Even the older games you have access to. You have other ways to play them on various different platforms. I think that's the only upper hand that modern gaming have, especially when you talk about the mainstream modern gaming than anything. Yes, what's up? What's up, man? What's up, Devin? What's up, Neo? What's up, Asian Pikachu? What's up, Emerald? Yo, Lord Blaze. So I played for years SNES, A Link to the Past. Love that game. Ocarina of Time has so much damn charm, bro. I love the vibes of the game. Yup, Gen Z or going to retro stuff. Yes, yes. It's so crazy. Like my daughter, she'll be 17 next month and stuff, but it's so cool to see my daughter and many other people her teens her age. They're all going back to retro stuff, even down to the clothing. My daughter's been talking about Y2K clothing. I'm like, what the hell is that? But then I forgot she wasn't born. And then when I said, do you even know what Y2K is? Because that terminology, me growing up, when it turned to the year 2000, there was a big Y2K scare. You remember that? If the clocks can't read past zero or something like that, 0 and 1s or something like that, and all the power and electricity is supposed to go out, and there was a big scare where everybody was going to rushing to the supermarket to get toilet paper, like there's going to be some type of apocalypse during the Y2K. But now that's considered a clothing trend, Y2K. I'm like, wow, like really? I remember that era. You know what I'm saying? So even my daughter and her generation, they're all going back, you know what I'm saying, and wanting to, live or wanting to live that moment or experience that moment. You even got this generation talking about, hey, like we need to bring the malls back, because there's a lot of them. There's a lot of kids that don't really understand, how important the mall was, in my era growing up. That's the hangout spot where all kids, mainly teenagers, would go, especially during the weekends, after school, hang out with friends. You got your favorite games during releases and stuff, midnight releases and everything. And this generation don't really know much about malls. They're not as impactful. Some areas, you got some malls that are still booming, but the American mall scene is pretty much dead, especially where I live in Philadelphia. The Philadelphia was called Franklin Mills when I was growing up, but the Philadelphia Mills, which is called today, is dead, man. It's dead. It's no one is in it. It's a ghost town. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to see the younger generation experiencing the things that I, which was seen common during that time. I was young. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what we got here. Yo, what's up, Coulter? What's going on? Especially if you on PC. I need to get back to podcasting. Yeah, man, do that, man. Like if you get back into podcasting, man, let me know. I would love to guest appear on your podcast, and I'll even have you come on to my platform and we can talk some shit. You know what I'm saying? Modern games overloaded with open world gotcha shooters, free to play, generic schnicks. Yeah, man, and that's the problem. We're like, if we're not careful and we're not paying attention, that's what's going to happen. Like everything is going to be a subscription service. Everything is going to be free to play, but you're going to be monetized to hell, which is going to require a lot of money. And when it comes with live services, man, especially when it comes to free to play, you don't own the games. So those servers can shut down anytime and you have no ownership over that game. And that's what irritates me the most when you see games like Hoyoverse, like Genshin Impact, you see Zenless Zone Zero, and you have the other company that make the Enfield, the Arc Enfield, whatever it's called. That game looks amazing for what it is. And you have the game called Anada that's coming out, which is like a hodgepodge of mixtures of different games. But you see all these games, but they're all free to play. They're not even like a purchasable game that you can play offline. And the graphics, the visuals, the gameplay, it all speaks to me, but it's all wrapped around free to play mechanics. And that's why I can't get into them. I got Zenless Zone Zero installed on my Xbox, Series X, and I got it on, installed on my Steam. But I still haven't clicked on it and played because Zenless Zone Zero is a cool game from what I played, when I was invited into the closed beta before the game released, and I enjoy the things that I played. But at the end of the day, it's a gotcha game. I don't really have that much investment in free to play games because I guess like I said, it's a mental thing probably. But when I feel as though I don't have ownership over it and stuff, I don't really play it. I don't really invest my time. I feel as though it's a waste of my time, despite no matter how good it is, if you understand what I'm saying. He said, it's nice to know that retro games are making a comeback. That's good to hear. I've been playing more older games that inspired my gameplay designs. Good, Emerald. He said, I did that as well with some older games through Emu Russia, like some unplayed games. Real fun 2010s for me. I hope the young tried out PS1, Legend of Legaia. Yup. That game was so innovative, that game that the gaming companies never do it again. Yeah, Legaia was dope. Yup. Apocalypse Conspiracies. Yeah, I'm glad to see the younger generation checking out retro games. These games has shaped all. Yup. I miss playing outside as a kid. Yeah, man, that was the biggest part of our life as a kid, was going outside playing. And it was funny was because there was I've been seeing a lot of posts of like Gen Z saying, wait a minute, was this a thing? Your parents just let you outside and y'all be outside all day and you don't come home, you don't come back into the house at night. They just let you just go out and stuff like that. And part of that was true. Yeah, you stayed out as long as once the night post came on in your neighborhood, it was time that was like a sign, it's time to bring your ass in the house. You know what I'm saying? But most of the time you played outside. You did a lot of things as kids. You ran around, you ran about, you walked around the neighborhood where it was safe. Back then, it was much more safer, especially back then, it was much more safer. You was able to walk around your neighborhood because back then, everybody was a community back then. Everybody knew each other. You know what I'm saying? That's why things today is so much different. Because as I said before, back in the day growing up, just because that person wasn't your child, you still looked out for that child. You knew their parent. And in fact, growing up, when we used to bring our friends to our house, the first thing our mom and our dads would say, do your mom or do your parents know, or your guardians know that you're here? And they was, especially if they were lying. Oh yeah, they know. Well, guess what? I'll bring the phone outside and you call your parents, and so we can talk to your parents on the phone to make sure that you didn't just come around here and that you got permission to come here. You know what I'm saying? So it was a community back then. So they would call my parents, get to know their parents, and then, hey, you can come over to the house. You know what I'm saying? And we just have fun all day. That's how it was back then. You don't see that today. And mostly everything's isolated. Like the younger generation, everybody's on their mobile devices. Everybody's more shut in. No one's really out and about or and hanging out at the length that we used to hang out. You know what I'm saying? If you can get what I'm saying here. You heard about the GameStop hit with backlash after the joke about trading in a woman. Yeah, I didn't look that deep into it, but I saw the meme about it. I saw a meme with somebody talking about it, and people were feeling offended because right now the Jeffrey Epstein, which is a quite interesting discussion on its own. That's what triggered a lot of people because it was like seen as like like a trafficking joke, and like people took it as a defensive and stuff like that. Tech Apocalypse. I was born in '96, so I didn't remember much about it. It started, yeah, it was a scare, and everybody went outside, went to the supermarkets. I mean, people rushed to supermarkets to get toilet paper, bottles of water. Everybody thought this apocalypse was going to happen, and nothing happened. Nothing happened once the once the clock turned to the New Year's, nothing happens. So yeah, man. Yeah, being an adult sucks. There's a study going around that kids ain't playing outside or hanging with their friends anymore because of overprotecting parenting. Yeah, there's a lot. It is a lot of it. It's over. It's not only just it's overprotecting parenting, and it's also like I said before, man. Kids are glued to their mobile devices. Most of the youth today sits in their house. Streaming culture, you know what I'm saying? All that type of stuff. It doesn't require you. You can communicate with people without the requirement of going outside and the outdoors, seeing people physically. That's why we got a lot of antisocial people today. And we got a lot of people who can't handle confrontation. They melt, they panic when they have confrontation up close and personal because they weren't given those skills at all. They weren't taught those skills. Their parents wasn't, putting them in environments to be around people and stuff like that because they allow social media, they allow mobile devices to take care of their kids. You remind me the knife guy from the OG Crow movie. Oh, Agent Pikachu, he's here. He's been a long fowler. Yep. There's basically way too many games, and I agree with that too. Agent Pikachu, there is too many games, and this is the thing. I'm also learning too. It also has a lot to do with me growing up as an adult. Back then, I more so had to rely on my parents to buy my games. So when I got a game, and remember, it's not just me. It's my brother Keo, then my baby brother Strike, and then my sister Manya. She also played video games, and then my dad was a gamer. My mom played video games, but she wasn't actively buying games. You know what I'm saying? But dad would buy her like her games when she did want them or Christmas and stuff. But we were playing games. Me, my sister, and both my brothers. We were playing games. So when we got our games, we played the hell out of them. We would play it up and down. Like we will play every nook and cranny of that game, and we cherish that game. That's why we have so many fond memories of those games, because we didn't know. Like I would say I wouldn't know when the next time I'm getting the game. I knew when the next time. My parents bought us games, but you still had to wait until your parents got you the next game. So you made the most of the game that you had gotten. I didn't start buying my own games until I was around 13 and 14. Because once I became a teenager, my dad stopped going out and just spoiling his sons. It was dad said, y'all becoming young men now. It's time to start teaching y'all to be men and learn how to go hunt, and start learning how to value money and earn for yourself. Because one day, like my dad taught me, one day you're going to have a family of your own. Your wife and your kids should be able to depend on you. So it's time to start teaching you how to earn that. So once I became like 12, 13 and shit like that, going out, my parents is buying games. Especially my dad, he stopped doing that. It's for his sons. We had to start. My dad's a contractor. So my dad's a carpenter. He does plumbing, electricity, and stuff like that. So he's a contractor. He has his own contracting business. So he goes to clients' houses, build kitchens and bathrooms and living rooms. He does it all. So every time my dad had a job, we had to go with dad, me and Keo. Darius was the baby. Strike was the baby boy, so he still got whatever he wanted. But when it came to us, me as the oldest and my brother as Keo as the second, we had to go out and earn it. So now we had to work. So at that point, I started buying my own games, and then once I was 14 and was able to get my worker's permit to be able to work summer jobs and stuff like that, my first ever console that I bought with my own money without the help of my parents was the Nintendo GameCube. And ever since that happened, I was buying my own games and stuff. But as you get older and you start making more and more money, to get to my point, now you're no longer restricted to how many games you can buy in a month or every other month and stuff like that. You don't have to wait anymore. So every day feels like a birthday. Every day feels like a Christmas to you when you have the money and the income to be able to buy whatever you want, whenever you want. So this is where choice paralysis comes into the play. It comes into play. And now with modern gaming, where you have more access to games, I get to the point where I have choice paralysis. I don't know what game I want to play. And what makes it worse is, and brings to my point why I'm not really a fan of digital gaming. And you know me, I'm a physical guy. I love to collect physically and stuff. It's just something about digital games and not having real ownership over digital games and not having that box, that collection, that library of games and stuff like that physically. I have no interest in it. But another thing about digital games too is because you have the access to those games. See, with physical, even though a game, physical still exists, some games are still hard to find, especially the older the game gets. But as long as it's digital, you can always find that game and have access to it, which is why Xbox Game Pass is never good for me, and Steam is never good for me. Because with Steam, I will find all the Steam deals. I got a shit ton of games on my Steam, but I haven't installed any of those damn games. And the games that I did install and play, I only play them for 5 minutes because, like I said, it's that choice paralysis. I have so many fucking games where now I'm like, oh, okay, well, all right, I'm gonna try the next game. I just click, bam, the next game boots up. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm playing that game. And then on top of that, I start playing it and say, oh, yeah, it's fun and stuff like that. But, oh, I want to play this game. And I noticed that with my brothers when they had, Xbox Game Pass. They weren't completing games. They were just playing one game after the next, switching one game after the next because they had all this access to games. You know what I'm saying? So that's another reason. That's another thing that's really... Unless you have a point right there. There's basically way too many games. And that's the problem that I'm having. I've been struggling with gaming because it's too many games. I'm an adult. I can get whatever game that I want. So I have a whole backlog of games, But with physical, like, I know it sounds silly. You have to get up, open the box, get the cartridge or disc, walk over to your console, put it in the console, boot the console up, sit down, and start playing. At that point, all that time I spent to turn the game on, I end up sticking with it. Because if I want to play the next game, I have to get up, hit the eject button, put the disc or the cartridge back in the box, put it back in my collection, sit there, figure out what game I want to play, pull it off the shelf, and do it again. So I'm more likely to sit down and just play that game, opposed to me having to get up and do that process again and just play it, is what it's called. Okay, yeah. I started missing my iPod and my MP3 players. So I've been looking at digital audio players to buy to start a lossless music lesson. That's dope. Where wins meet, gotcha games ruin lives. Thanks, appreciate it. Don't know if you ever gave your thoughts on it, but how do you feel about Fortnite? Is it your type of game? I like the visual style of Fortnite. I wanted to... Back then, I wanted to play Fortnite when it was that zombie tower offense, and the thing that pulled me into it was because of the stylized visuals that it had, and the zombie thing looked pretty cool, but it didn't do well. So when it became a battle royale, I said, "Shit, I would love to play it now as a battle royale too." And then when I found out about the building aspect, I don't like the building aspect during the battle royale. I'm just not good at it. That's why I never played. That's why I refuse to play Fortnite, because the building. But I know recently there's a separate mode where you don't have to build. You can just play it. So I don't know. I haven't really pulled the trigger, but I would like to try Fortnite, but I just haven't pulled the trigger to actually play it. Yep. Let's see. That's what turns me off, even though I play a few. It's lack of ownership of being behind internet connection. I like Zenozone Zero too, but since I got a new computer, I haven't had time to play it because I've been wanting to play more story-driven stuff. Now you have barely your inner circle. Yo, oh, what's up, Iron Man? What's going on? What's up, Iron Man? What's going on, bro? I always laugh. As soon as I see Iron Man, I just start laughing. Especially growing up in the 90s, I can remember well, we got to play outside all day until the street light came on. Yup. You had to take a shower because you're all sweaty, dust, and musty and stuff from playing outside. Especially if you're a boy, you running around and you tripping over falling in dirt and shit like that. We had it good, y'all. Salute to all the millennials here. Yup. What's up? Yo, what's up? What's up, Metal Wolves? Yeah, I have a 4-year old, and I feel bad for his gen because it's not getting any better. And I'm in Taiwan, by the way, so it's the same here too. Oh wow! Cheers from hello from Taiwan. Hello, what's up, Dejin? How you feel about Marvel Tokon having 20 characters at launch? I posted about it on on my Twitter. I was saying that if it was a 1v1, like a true 1v1, the 20 is not bad at all. But it's a 4v4, even though it's not a 4v4, but it's still a 4v4. That's not really a big roster for what they're going for. In my personal opinion, not saying it's going to be bad or anything, but it's just in my personal opinion. Low key, my cousin KJ would say the same thing about how gaming online doesn't feel the same as inviting friends over. You're both the same age. Yeah, it's not the same. I mean, like, you can still have your fun if you have your inner circle of friends, because y'all can still shit talk each other. Because I remember when Xbox 360, because I got the original Xbox and played Xbox Live. I didn't really like the original Xbox Live too much on the first Xbox, but it was fun. It was a discovery because it was the first time on a console where you're not using a keyboard talking to people, you're using your real voice and you're talking to somebody across the internet. But I would say this: I didn't really like the original Xbox Live too much. The first Xbox Live, because the shit was just super racist and toxic back then. With the first one, you got used to it on the Xbox 360 because you was actually able to make friends. But on the first Xbox, it was hard making friends, especially being black and playing on the original Xbox. The moment you sounded black, if you sounded black, they would literally boot you out of lobbies, or they would leave the lobbies, and they would say, "Are you a black? Hey guys, this is a black guy," and they would just leave. They would just leave the lobby, or they would kick you out, or like that. It was like super racist and shit like that. So most of the time, on the original Xbox, I had to mute my mic, or because it's not the fact is that I got tough skin, but the fact is I want to play online. I want to play a game. So it was times where you just couldn't play a game if you sounded black, or if they had an inkling that you were black. A game session would just end. So I want to play online. I want to play a game. So I would just mute my mic. Now, I remember on the original Xbox, you get the voice changer and stuff like that and everything. But people knew, like, that was also a telltale sign if you was black, if you used the voice changer. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of hard back then, with the original Xbox, to play and build friends and build communities, especially, being a minority on the original Xbox. But 360 changed the game. Yeah, it was toxic as fuck. But during this time, man, you wasn't getting booted out of games. You found your friend. You wound up finding friends, and you had your little circle, and you and your friends would team up and talk shit against and be toxic as fuck towards the other team as they being toxic as fuck back towards you. So it was more like an even playing field, with the 360 or whatever like that. Because I was, if that makes sense to you. But yeah, online gaming is not the same. It really is not the same compared to actually having people in front of you playing locally, playing with friends and stuff like that. Where I live barely has anything to do, sadly. Over here, brother. Yup. Yo, what's up, Ruin? Like they say, too many channels and nothing good on. It feels like that with games nowadays. Yeah, that's a good analogy. Facts. We watered the well of the games we had. Dude, in Link to the Past, I checked every nook and cranny and leaf. Yeah, man. That grunt. That was the grind. Brother is Iori. Well, that's his nickname. Keo. Keo. That's his nickname. We called him Keo. And that was during time my brother was dating. He had an Asian girlfriend, so her family, most of the Asians that hung around us and stuff, called him Keo. So that's a name that just stuck with him. What's up, Mugen Lord? I think social media is ruining everything. Yeah, Jetta. I got the PlayStation Derpy. And I just watched a video about Overwatch voice actors pushing woke, and it just got back on his feet. Well, there's more to it. I explained about the Overwatch situation because I commented on it as well. And I did some research. All right, so let me explain this. When it comes to the Overwatch situation, for those of you guys who don't know, we'll I'll bring it up. Those of you guys who don't know about the situation. So what happened was Overwatch is killing it right now. Like, because Marvel Rivals gave it competition. So I like the new character designs. They got some baddies. They do got some baddies. You know what I'm saying? And what happened was the voice actress to one of the new characters wanted to speak out and talking about how she disagreed with the changes or the of the face of one of the new Chinese female characters and stuff like that. Now, you also have to understand if you're a culture war person and you're not doing your research, then you're gonna make yourself look stupid or whatever. The thing is, Overwatch. I wouldn't say that Overwatch fans had caved in. No, I wouldn't say Overwatch have caved in. I wouldn't say that. But there's two different discussions that's going on. Where's the damn video? Did she take it down? I had commented on it. I think she took it. I think she removed it because she's not on here no more. Yeah, that shit going. She removed that joint. All right. So, all right. So, essentially, you see the new. Matter of fact, let's just bring it. I know I'm all over the place. If y'all haven't seen the new characters for Overwatch, and it's not called Overwatch 2 anymore. It's just called Overwatch. They went back to keeping it Overwatch, which is smart. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna bring up the trailer for you guys. And I like the character. I truly do. So I'm gonna bring it up for you guys. Let me. All right, I have to let me remove this one because in order for the sound to play, I have to share screen. Oh, I don't want to do all that. Why did it do that? What up, guys? Make my screen all small and shit. What the hell's going on? I guess we can go with this. Can you These are new characters right here. Got that dumbass cat. These are the new characters. Look cool. Jetpack Cat, generic name, but we can go with it. He's pretty much for merchandise and the girls to go crazy. There she is, right there. Let's go back. This is the character right here that people's bitching about. They don't like her face. But you have to understand, there's two conversations. What's up, Talcum? Let me get back here real quick. Damn, I'm way behind. Yeah, we'll talk about the Discord ID. We'll talk about all that in a second. Give me a second. I gotta zoom past all this because I didn't know I'm way behind in the chats. Yeah, Pat, we'll talk about all that. We'll talk about the Discord stuff. Yo, what's up, Ryu? We'll talk about all that. Let me click on all this. Let me just catch up. All right, we'll talk about. I'm gonna catch up. Okay. Yeah. All right. So this is what's going on. There's two discussions going on. There's two discussions going on here, and a lot of culture war people is not picking it up. My criticism is towards the voice actress. The community is speaking one thing and the voice actress is speaking another thing. There's two different directions. The real conversation, which the culture war people who are grifting is not really picking up, the real conversation that the actual fan base is having, they don't like the fact that her face looked like every other female face. They're just copy and paste faces of some of the other female characters where she doesn't look original. It's just a lazy copy and paste. And fans are getting frustrated with this. But what the voice actress is doing, she's talking about, representation, of the different, going with a more mature look, and instead of having an Ozempic looking model and all this other type of stuff, sounding stupid. She's Asian chick with the side shave hair with the red hair. You already know what she's about. When you it's sad to say you shouldn't stereotype people, but every time you see the color hair with the kind of like shaving and stuff like that, you know what you're about to get. So the voice actress and the community are speaking two different things as far as the character is concerned. That's where the disconnect is coming from. So what the conversation that people are having is that Overwatch has a comic book, and what people are frustrated about is that she looks one way in the comic, but then she looks like this in the actual game. And people just want her to look like what she looks like as far as her face is concerned. They're not talking about her body. They're not talking about the costume. They're just talking about her face. They want her face to look like what it looks like in the comics. But you also have another debate saying that, well, in the comics, there's a lot of characters that don't look like themselves. So what's the big deal? So there's an argument to be had on both sides. It's just that it's getting a lot of backlash because of the voice actress herself is on this activism type of thing. While at the same time, if you're on the outside and you're just a culture war person, you're not really digging in to actually get the nuance behind it, you start thinking that the community and her align together when that's not the case. It's the community that actually plays the fucking game. It's just saying that her face is just copy and paste of other female faces, especially when it comes to the Asian female characters and stuff like that. It's just a copy and paste. And they would just want some more diversity in the faces and stuff like that. That's what the community's saying. But the voice actress is on some active, on the typical, lefty tirade that most of these voice actors be on. So Blizzard themselves have reached out and say they will be updating her face. So some people are saying, this is what I'm saying, if you're into the culture war and don't understand what the argument is actually about, you're going to be conflicted and you're going to not support the game for the wrong reasons. So there's a lot of people thinking that Blizzard had caved in to the demands of the voice actor, the actress, and the community when they don't know what the actual argument is because they're not part of the Overwatch community. They're just observers or tourists, you would say. So I gave my personal opinion. I said, I'm telling her like, just shut the fuck up. Like, you got blessed to play as a voice actor in one of the most popular hero shooters on the planet right now. And here you go spewing. I'm telling you right now, I will start a indie game studio at some point. Right now, I got an indie comic book company. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not going for this shit. I am not going for this shit. When I start hiring voice actors and people and stuff like that, you're allowed to have your own opinion, but you're not going to do anything that's going to fucking sabotage my fucking game. You got to go. If you're going to sabotage my game, you got to go. And I just think it's just ungrateful of a lot of these voice actors and people within these companies that will go on there and it's one thing if the company is like a piece of shit and stuff like that and the shit like that going on. But it's another thing where the game is finally trying to climb out and trying to actually compete against, Marvel rivals and trying to improve. And then you come out with this nonsense. As I said before, I'm firing motherfuckers. And look at the Hoyoverse. The Hoyoverse has no problem doing that shit. Changing voice actors on the west side of things. They don't have no problem doing that. And as a company, I would do the same fucking thing. The moment you start, you can speak your political opinion, but you got to go. You're not fucking up. You're not fucking up my business because you want to put yourself on a virtual soapbox. You're not doing that. You're not doing that working underneath me. You're not doing that. You're not doing that. So yes, so that's the argument is.
I am the
And
Inferno.
I like the design. I like I like Overwatch, especially earlier Overwatch. That's what gravitated me to Overwatch. Her, she's a baddie, yo. This chick, like you got, especially her 2D art. But I was always a fan of Overwatch. That's why, like if you wasn't around earlier on this channel, like when I started doing really a lot of gaming stuff on the channel besides Mugen, man, I was an Overwatch addict. Me and my brothers, Strike and Keo, we played that shit religiously because, as you may know, I'm a person that's into visualized, like stylized art styles, and on top of that, they all the characters look unique. And this game, Overwatch, for a lot of us who don't like what goes on, with wokeness and stuff and forced diversity, this game, especially in the earlier stages, was diversity done right. There was many people in Overwatch that was of different ethnic groups, nationalities, in races and all kinds of other stuff. That's what made Overwatch such a game that gravitated people towards it. You know what I'm saying? Because it included a lot of everything in it. You know what I'm saying? You had every taste. You had thickness. You had nerdies. You had nerdy girls. You got the badasses. You got the overly buff guys. You got the fat asses. You got everybody in Overwatch. It catered to everybody, but it wasn't forced. You know what I'm saying? And then once Blizzard started getting in trouble with those lawsuits, the crunch, the sexual allegations that's going on, that's when they started shifting gears. All of a sudden, Tracer is now lesbian and shit like that. Soldier 76 is gay as fuck all of a sudden. Every time Activision Blizzard got in trouble, they would make a character gay. So people can focus on that and celebrate that and not focus on the real shit that's going on in Activision Blizzard. And remember, the first woke outcry was Tracer, when the Tracer's pose. You remember that? Where her butt and stuff, where it shows her butt or arched out and stuff like that. And you had a lot of wokies upset and offended by that and shit like that. That was the first time. And then that's when it just started getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And then the mob just took over Overwatch. Then now you turn around, like everybody's either bisexual and shit like that or gay. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Apex Legends. And Apex Legends, despite that game having some of the most wokest shit, earlier Apex Legends was fun. Like I said, what people don't understand about me when it comes to video games, if a game is fun, it's fun. I'm not going to turn down a game. I'm not going to turn down a game because of a character design. You know what I'm saying? If a game is actually fun and it's addictive and I enjoy it, I'm able to play it with my brothers and stuff, I'm playing it. Apex Legends character cast was woke as fuck. Woke as shit. But the game, I'm not going to deny that. The game was fun. And I played the shit out of it despite the cast. Because the game was fun. Like, I'm about playing games. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. That actress reminds me of the actress. Yeah. So the VA just do a wrench into the discussion. I see English voice editors back at it again. Basically, people are all up in the Kool-Aid and don't know the flavor. Yup. Oh yeah. It got shafted. Said, what's with the Western gaming companies keeping the activists? They got a huge ego after getting big, so they end up recasting her. Yup. Nothing like OG Overwatch. Wasting time. Those people just play as Overwatch characters when I don't know or care who they are. When I just play Marvel Rivals instead, I know like the characters. Yeah, and like I said, this brings it back to social media. Social media ruined gaming. Because you remember back then, like when social media wasn't really a big thing, like how social media is today. You know what I'm saying? You just played the game. You knew nothing about the opinions of a voice actor. You know what I'm saying? You knew nothing about the opinions of a developer. You knew nothing about that. And the thing is, social media is a bullhorn. It echoes your voice. It echoes it because yes, there were also voice actors. There were also developers even before social media that had these opinions, but you never knew about them because they were relegated to just magazines. You know what I'm saying? Or like like news interviews. But that's where it stayed. You know what I'm saying? It stayed there, and plus it didn't affect the game itself. The game was actually good. So people were able to tolerate the politics of a developer or a voice actor or even outside of gaming, even in the entertainment business itself. These people were always political. A lot of these people were always political, but it didn't affect the game itself. So you're able to just, and plus remember back then we were more tolerant. We were able to say, hey, that's just separate the person from the art itself. But today it's hard to separate the person from the art itself because these people make this their whole identity now. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard to separate that and everything, But as I said before, now these politics are affecting the game itself. Back then, they were able to have those politics when we didn't have social media and stuff like that, but they allowed those politics to affect the game design itself. Those games were still fucking dope. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we at today. Social media ruined everything. Everybody has a fucking opinion, especially celebrities, especially developers, especially producers, directors, and all this other type of stuff. Everybody has a fucking opinion. And since everybody has a fucking opinion on social media and stuff, it just made things worse. And also, too, a lot of these opinions can kill a game, and the game could actually be good. A lot of these opinions can kill a game before the game even releases. You know what I'm saying? And the game can fall victim to these voices before it had a chance to prove itself. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot to it. You seen Quacks hated on Stellar Blade. Yup. Same for me. I have a voice actress for a fighting game, and she's awesome. She values my characters and stuff like that. Yup, spewing nonsensical. Not really doing that, but better. And that's why I said competition is important because of what Marvel Rivals has done. It calls Activision Blizzard with Overwatch to step their game up. That's why we shouldn't have one studio. We shouldn't have one company that's just dominating the field, even in the so-called console war space. Like Microsoft is like straying away from a traditional, consoles and stuff like that. So now you're just boiled down to Nintendo, but Nintendo's doing their own thing. So essentially, just Sony's in the console space. If you want to look at it that way, and that's not a good thing. It's not. So the fact is that Overwatch now sees Marvel Rivals as a competitor. That's good for gamers because there was a peak in people reinstalling Overwatch because of this new announcement. They got new plans. They have 10 characters they announced, and it's season 1. It's just called Overwatch now, and they're restarting back over to season 1, and they're going to start off with 5 new characters. The character I just shows you guys, they are the first 5 characters out the gate, while the other 5 will come for each season and shit like that. That's being competitive. That's good for the community. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I said, some of these character designs look dope, especially some of the female characters look dope because they saw what Marvel Rivals was doing, and they're trying to do that. Let me see something. Let me see if I can bring it up. If I can find it. I'm trying to. Where's the? Trying to bring this up, and what's playing? Something playing in the background. That's not supposed to be playing in the background, and it's irritating me. Yes, move that. All right, so let me capture this real quick for you guys so I can bring it up. Like, all right, let me save this, bring it up. All right, let me put this in my folder. All right. Bring it here. All right, cool. All right, let me bring this up. Save. All right, so let me go back to the studio, bring Clickus, image. All right, social media, pictures, new material. Look, this is the new character. She is a baddie, bro. This is what we talking about. Let them cook. Let them cook. And you have to thank Marvel Rivals for this. You have to thank Marvel Rivals for this. Because people are comparing her to Emma Frost in Marvel Rivals. And the White Queen. She's a baddie. This and all because that's why you need to think competition. We need competition. This is what we need. So while the VA is getting their opinions on a game, like isn't at the end of the day, it's a job, not their life. Yo, what's up, LG? We need to have a call in section on the show. I'll be there to put my 2 cents in. Oh yeah. I want to do LG. That's dope. That's dope. LG, we gonna plan a day because I want you to come on my stream. I want to plan a day that we come on because I got some topics that me and you can talk about. I'm gonna find a couple other people on too. We'll have a platform with a lot of you guys. Meanwhile, the game looks like trash. I think competition, and in fact, it has something to prove in how the geek culture was back. Yeah, man. Yeah. And there's a difference between in-game politics for world building. Yup. Yo, good to see you. Yeah, everybody up in here. Yo, what's up, Sonic Adventure? Like, yo, bro, I'm sorry, not to be rude, but Overwatch has gone woke as fuck. The female characters are just copied and pasted. Juno looks like diva. Yeah, you just missed the conversation. We just talked about this. About the character, and people are mixing up. People are mixing up with the voice actress and with the community wants. The community just want her to change Arnin's face or whatever like that to look more unique compared to just copy and pasting other characters and stuff. While the voice actress is on some, virtual singing soapbox as always. Oh yeah, I'll let you. Yeah, I'll let you know. LG. He said she's from Overwatch. This is the new Overwatch character. Yeah, like I said, competition is good, guys. Competition is good. Marvel Rivals put flames underneath their ass, and they going back to character designs like this. I can already imagine Source Filmmaker. I can already imagine a lot of hentai videos of these characters. I can already see it already. These geeks are probably cooking up right now. They're probably cooking something up right now when it comes to this. But great nice design. This is what I want to see. That I used to play Overwatch 1 fairly often, but shooter games are not really my thing anymore. I do like character design though. Look, I'm into games. Like I'm not a shooter guy, but I'm into games where I'm able to cooperate. I love cooperative games. Co-op and cooperative competitive games compared to just being like solo competitive and solo multiplayer games where you just yourself and you playing against other players and stuff like that. So I love co-op games. So when there's a game that actually looks attractive, it looks fun, and it is fun, and then on top of that I can play with my brothers. It's all about if I can be able to play with my brothers. If I'm able to play with them, sign me up. And if it's good on top of that, sign me the fuck up, Yeah. Rue 34 is going to go nuts for this Black Queen. She looks awesome. No, country like yeah, she's a brown woman. I'm not sure if she's from the Middle East, but she's not a black woman. I know that for sure. She's from the middle. I know she's probably like Middle East. Or Indian or something like that. I don't know if I'll make you play Overwatch though. Marvel was taking up all my gaming time. And you know they got like a stadium mode that's like that plays in third person. That's like Marvel Rivals, not like you know how Marvel Rivals is in third person. Well, Overwatch have a stadium mode where that's in third person, and you able to equip things on characters like the boosters to for their stats and stuff like that. Which I never knew they had that mode, but Marvel Rivals did that. If women don't want even want to look like your character for cosplay, then it's not a good character design. Yup. I bet we would have had more games from Rockstar and could have gotten GTA 7 and 8 by now if they had more competition in that market. Seems, yeah. Well, also, too, man, you also have to understand, too, man, when it comes like a situation like GTA, as far as competition is concerned, the thing about the reason why GTA is just dominated, it dominated in a natural sense. And you also sometimes have to put some blame on not just the developers but also gamers as well, because if anybody tried to compete against GTA, what are people going to say? Oh, it's just a GTA clone. It's just a generic GTA. So because of that, people just stick to what they know. They stick to what's the best type of game within that genre itself, and that's Rockstar's GTA. So that also has a lot to do with it as well. So it is kind of hard for a new developer to come in to compete against a GTA. See, you can say, well, what about Marvel Rivals? Marvel Rivals kicking the Overwatch ass. You have to understand that what's doing a lot of the heavy lifting is Marvel, not just, and the character designs. It's Marvel. Like you're not beating like Marvel can like if you use the Marvel IP, and then on top of the Marvel IP, it's a fun game, you're not beating Marvel. You're just not. And all they did with Marvel Rival is, you get China. China's known for bootlegging shit. All they did was copy the earlier forms of Overwatch, but made it better with Marvel characters. That's all they did. They made it better, but with Marvel characters. That's all they did. They copied them and just threw in Marvel characters. Yeah, I'm the oldest, Talcum. It was good moving, bro. Dang, I missed the conversation. Messed up. Her design looks fire, but she looks too much like Farah. I'm sticking with Marvel Rivals. Oh, well, I made a mistake. Oh well, I made a mistake. Wah wah wah. Brown woman wants the vanilla cream pie and that and the GTA didn't make bank. Yup. Speaking of Marvel Rivals, I see Elsa Bloodstone is coming. Yeah, I saw her. My brother Strike and Keo showed me the trailer to her today. She looks pretty cool. And dark skin rifles are my weakness. I still not going to play though. I hate that game. My car was literally stolen here. Like cops are ass, man. I think I need to sue CA. Oh, what happened? They said it was stolen. GTA isn't just that the game; they are the spearhead of their genre. So they can do what they want, take as long as they want, and make money in their way. Yup. True. I hated the label because normies and GTA fanboys played a role in. Mm-hmm. True. Yeah, like Saints Row, especially the first game. I thought it was pretty cool. The first game when they released on the Xbox 360, I thought it was cool. But you want a Marvel rivals for your characters, and would it be the first person, third person? It'll be third person. If I was to do like a hero shooter with my Venus and Ryan characters, it'll be a third person. I want you to see my characters. Same. I have a weakness for brown skin females. A lot of people won't like. Despite some of the stuff you see people say about brown skin, like women, And even in like media, not just media, but also games itself. Sometimes like that space right there that's very vocal on social media or whatever like that. There's a lot of people who love tan and brown skinned women in cartoons and anime. It's chocolate waifus. You know what I'm saying? I straight up went. Yeah, She-Hulk would be cool. Like what version of She-Hulk? They better give us like the baddie She-Hulk and not that fucking muscular fucking She-Hulk. Around when the car was safely parked. Then I saw it mentioned that it was impound. It wasn't. And first approved, but the facility didn't provide the footage for me to finish it. Okay. Yeah, man, and that's the thing about all this, man. Social media has really tainted the conversation. It tainted how people view video games. And I always say this: the Yurichi from Bleach. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Social media has tainted gaming. And the thing is, I always try to tell people that social media isn't real life. A lot of people think that the discourse, as far as culture war and many other things that happens on social media, they think that this is actually the norm. That everybody is like this in real life. And then if you actually go outside and touch grass for a little bit, you realize that a lot of the conversations going on, a lot of people don't even know this shit is going on in real life. Everybody's just carrying on about their day. A lot of people don't even have any idea. Of course, in real life, you'll run across that hinge group, but it's not as common as you think it is, as social media would like you to think it's actually this way. Is Radical the Porcupine more Sonic or TMNT? As far as gameplay, he's more of like Jack. More think of Jack. Think of Radical Porcupine as Jack with some Sonic in it a bit, but think of Jack. Story wise, more I would say a mixture of Sonic and I guess and some maturity of the Jack games. Sonic with the maturity of Jack. Is a scary precedence now that Reddit activists successfully bully Blizzard was stopping them, changing the other hated females of activists. Well, like I said before, the it depends. You gotta understand what the conversation is with this whole Overwatch thing. The community and the voice actress are saying two different things. The community is saying that they're tired of the female characters looking the same as far as their face. There's a lot of them that just like a copy and paste. They just copy the face from one female, paste it on another female, and they just got a different hairstyle. The actual Overwatch audience and the fans are saying like, yo, like you look at the comic of this character. This character looks awesome. Her face looks awesome in this, but then in the game itself, she's just a copy and paste of another character's face, female character's face. But then you have the voice actress who is on her virtual soapbox is speaking a totally different narrative. It's more on the activist side of things. So Overwatch I wouldn't say bending the knee to her, but more so bending the knee to the demands of the player base who just want her face to look more closer to the comic and just more unique compared to what they've been doing lately with the female characters' faces. Yo, what's up, Charles? What's going on? But I don't think it has anything to do with social media. If you need links, I have private links. Let me show you. The all targets, because of some weird reason, the left hates heterosexual, dark skin, white hair combo. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never jumped on the bandwagon. I played what I like to play. They copied them, but made it twice as better. Overwatch is just mess, and it cost me the same price as the base game. God damn. I also glad I didn't watch the Super Bowl because it went woke. Is this the new drama? Yeah, that's the new. Yeah, the Overwatch situation is the new drama. I'm guessing there's not going to be a lot of no. Radical is not the only animal, but it's humans and animals. Like Radical the porcupine is a special individual. And I can't spoil the plot to Radical Porcupine, but he's not the only humanoid looking animal. There's cats. There's all kinds of other animals besides Radical, but I won't. And Radical has a human friend named Zachariah, and actually Radical was Zachariah's pet, but something had happened to Radical. And there's a big thing behind it. It's a corporation that has something a lot to do with some of the animals and stuff like that, and they got separated. Zachariah, as a little boy, got separated from Radical and stuff like that, and then he ends up finding. Radical ends up finding Zachariah because something happened. He ends up finding him, but he is who he is now, you know. But he's not the only one. There's other humans who have pets or have an animal companion that's like Radical, but it's their own type of animal. So Radical's not the only one. There's other ones like him. Understand change, but every character changed from the comic to 3D model. I like the model rivals. All the women have different proportions, but they all proportions of different type of women. Yep. Nothing much room to learn about the play Fire Emblem 3 houses at the same time. Cool. Is that Overwatch is cooked? Oh man. Guardian Force. Oh, nice. Forces. Yeah, so in the past is why see what the way you're explaining it. Yeah, I guess you could say like Sonic X in a sense, yeah. But yeah, so it's other ones that it's other animals and that other humans would have. And then there's also villains. There's also villains. One of the villains is three villains. Is a trio villain that I have. One is named Shake, the other one is named Rattle, and another one is Roll. And there are three, and so you put them together as Shake, Rattle, and Roll and stuff like that. So yeah. So you'll see as I'm ready to explore Radical the Porcupine, you'll see. Bro, they missed some highlights because they added too many characters in once. Yeah, but yeah, man. So that like social media is just something, man. It's social media is a good. It's a necessary evil in a sense, like. Because social media, you can get that word out there. You can spread the word. You know what I'm saying? You can get the message out there to people, wake people up. But at the same time, you can also propagandize people. You can send out misinformation. You can do all kinds of things. So it's a necessary tool. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's a lot of benefits to it. If you run into business, you can get your product out there. Like me, I'm Venus and Ryan Comics. You know, like I use social media to get Very Own Killers, Vampire Killers, and my shared universe all together on social media and stuff. It's just how you use it. And as a user and as a person that uses social media, you also have to have discernment. You have to also know how much information to take in, because you have these people that consume social media so much and they conflate social media with real life, and social media becomes their identity. You know what I'm saying? And they end up becoming the worst type of individuals because they don't know how to cope with reality, and they don't know how to communicate with people in real life and stuff like that. And that's where the dangerous part come in. And you can't allow that to happen. You can't allow social media to become your identity. But anyway, video games, amazing from best time, especially like in the late 90s. Can't wait. And not all of them's going to be pets. Not all of them going to be pets. Some of them going to be just villains. You know what I'm saying? Vibes. Problem I feel social media is that inherently we cannot agree with everyone on social media. Kind of demands that. Yeah. It's a fact on discernment. I gotta get better about that myself. Pick and choose battles. Yeah, and that's the problem with the culture war, and that's another reason why I chose to stay away from it. The culture war too is because it became so polarizing. People start allowing the culture war to become their identity. They super like, especially like I said, I'm never going to be on the woke side. Never am. But also, I'm not going to sit there and say that I'm fully anti woke either. I'm just for common sense. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people on the anti-woke side that always, come down on the woke people, saying that their race is their identity, or sexuality is their identity, this, that, and the third. But there's a lot of people on the anti-woke side that allow the culture war to become their identity, where they see that lens, everything is woke to them, and they don't know how to discern when to pick and choose their battles, and know when to say, hey, like, it's not that there is some nuance to this. You know what I'm saying? And they're just as bad, and they're just as annoying. You know what I'm saying? Like, where you just can't have conversations with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I stay away from people like that too. Like, damn, nigga, do you know how to have fun? Like, what do you like? You know what I'm saying? And those type of people don't know how to turn that switch off. Like, and that's why I also had to start blocking certain people, like, on my social media, and stuff like that, because there's some people that just can't read the room. Like, yes, I give my opinions on, like, cultural, like the social issues that goes on within gaming, and the cultural aspect too, but it's not my identity. I don't talk about it 24/7, and people seem to think that I talk about it 24/7, so they don't even say hi to me. They just hit my DM and just start talking about, I hate wokeness, or they give me articles about wokeness, and all. They go on this tirade. They go on this complete tirade. They don't even open up and say, hello, hey, Moving Lord. They just go straight into it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, God damn, like, dude, like, relax. Like fucking relax. So you got some people that just don't know how to turn that switch off. They just don't know how to read the room. And they become annoying. Let's see. Damn. I'm noticing a lack of teen superheroes these days. Oh yeah, Venus Orion Comics going to have a lot of teen superheroes. Like I said, Neo Suit Johnny is one of them, and he's not the only one. Like I said, I can't spoil anything, but there will be a team of teens as well. But Neo Suit Johnny is my first teen superhero or hero like character in the Venus Orion comic universe, and there will be more teens that are heroes and stuff like that, and villains in my universe. But Neo Suit Johnny is going to open up that gateway, that pathway, to introduce my teen heroes as well. There we are, social media now. Another thing that it's hard to make posts as a genuine person. More than half of what don't appear to the guys I watch. It's facts. They ruin everything. I'm trying to learn to be more to how to be more fun. It's just hard when you're aware constantly. See, this is the thing. Like, that's the problem too, man. Like, you have to learn how to balance that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you have fun when it's kind of like a person that's in the military, right? And then they come home and they play games like Call of Duty, or they watch war films, and they can pick out everything that's wrong with it, and they don't know how to watch it as a film, because they went to the military and they got a dose of reality, and they finally woke up to a lot of things. So when they try to be entertained, they criticize everything, because now they can't unsee things. Well, that's the same thing, man. You got to learn how to be more fun. Like, you don't want to be that guy or that girl that's in the room that's just a fucking killjoy. Then people don't want to be around you. You know what I'm saying? So you have to learn how to pick and choose, and you have to know when is the right time to speak and talk about those things. You got to learn to read the room, because you start becoming insufferable to a lot of people. Yeah, the woke people can be insufferable, but you being anti-woke, you can be insufferable too. No one wants to hear that shit all the time, 24/7. People just want to just have fun, just want to talk about shit. Like I knew a person that was like that. Like, you start having fun talking about shit, and then they just talk about, anti-woke shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you got people that come in and talk about woke shit. You don't want to hear that shit. You just want to just have fun and just talk. So you have to learn how to balance that shit out. And you have to pick the right time to interject that shit. You know what I'm saying? But some weird woke people have attacked me in the guard 2023. What's up, Mugen? What's up, expectations? Hope you're doing well. Social media is kind of gay. That's my 2 cents. Now off the bed. Same here. I distracted myself from the whole culture war after realizing how many of the anti-woke side said some screwed up things, and people still siding with them. Dog woke whistle. I get the feeling it feels like you're going in circles talking about the same thing. Yeah. You get tired of it. You talk about the same shit all the time. And then you got some people, like I said before, like you got some people that get so radical about it. And then you got some people that, like I said before, within the anti-woke side too. Like you got some people, and this is why I tell a lot of people, especially if you're a person of color and stuff like that, you also have to understand both sides aren't on your like if you like, even with politics, you have to understand both sides aren't really on your side. Both sides aren't really on your side. You got the woke side that claims they're fighting for you and fighting for diversity and stuff like that. But the moment you get out of line, then you all kind of N words, you all kinds of this, that, and the other. And then the other side, they're just as bad, because the moment they have a person that's a person of color or whatever, a minority that's on their side, then they want to use them as a mascot, saying, hey, we're not like that. Hey, this person agree with us and stuff like that. But then you start to realize that there's people on that side that they don't like you. Like they don't like you because you're black or whatever minority group that you are and stuff like that. But you're a perfect weapon, to use against the other side. So like the thing is, it just so happened that the anti-woke side aligns with my belief system. But just because it aligns with my belief system doesn't mean I'm buddy with everybody on that side, because there's people on that side that only use the anti-woke to further enforce their racism and other things that they have about themselves and stuff. And the moment you call them out on it and the mask slip off, then they try to use that. No, I'm just against, forced diversity and this, that, and the other. When you know for a fact that's not the case, they're just using that. Not everybody on that side, but there's people on that side that use the anti-woke rhetoric to further enforce and to exploit their racism and stuff like that. So you got to be careful of that side as well. Both sides don't have your best intentions. One side, use that to make themselves virtue signal, feel good, and hey, I'm not racist and stuff like that. But the moment you step out of line, you all kinds of N-words, you all kinds of this, you all kinds of that. And then the other side, you're the token on that side. They just put you're their mascot. See, we're not racist and stuff. This person finally gets it. They're on our side, this, that, and the third, but behind closed doors, or if they slip up, you realize that, hey, they don't fucking like you either. You know what I'm saying? So you also have to be careful of that. That's why I don't have a side. I'm just for common sense, The disrespect, don't let them get to you. You goaded. Time. And like hypocrisy, like integrity. Yeah. I remember how draining the Stellar Blade saga was. Don't even get me started with that. That's why I just decided to support the stuff I like and shut up. Yes. And that's the model I'm on. I'm on the model. The model that I'm on now is I'm playing the games that I like. Just play, find the shit that you like, and just don't worry about anything else. Just don't worry about anything else. Just go to play shit that you like. If the game is fun, it's just fun. Just that simple. You enjoy it. It's just that simple. And what's going to happen is when you start having more people start playing the games that they like and ignoring the other shit, both sides will start losing power. Both sides will begin to lose power. Because no one wants to hear what the anti-woke has to say, and no one wants to hear what the woke has to say. The people just want to play games and enjoy the games that they enjoy. Seeing conservatives trying to do movies and cartoons. Oh yeah, when what's the name of that? What's that company that Ben Shapiro is part of? That's his company. What's that company? What's the name of that damn company? Because I can't stand like Ben Shapiro mask fell off and stuff. Yeah, he might as well just move to Israel at this point. But as I said before, when the conservatives start making cartoons and stuff like that shit was corny. It was corny. Just like the woke. Like when they started doing it, it was fucking whack. It was too on the nose. Like there's no punchline to it. or any of that shit. It was just whack. It was just fucking corny. I'm like, I don't want to see this shit either. I don't want to see none of these movies coming from the conservative side. Just entertain me. I don't want to see like this is what people don't understand. Just because I don't like woke stuff, I don't want to see this shit constantly as well. Just make a good damn film. I don't need you preaching to me from the other side either. The only side I'm on is my side. Black fatigue. Common sense makes sense. Percent. Middle lawyers faction with this. Just play and harsh industries. Black fatigue rubbed me the wrong way. I know the reason context. Yeah, I don't mind the term black fatigue because I get it, because I know a lot of other black people who's using that term too, because they're getting tired of the shit that a lot of black folks are doing. But you also got to understand, but I also understand that there's people within that space that's also using it for racist reasons. You know what I'm saying? So it can be used as a double meaning, or for in the form of whatever the context is. So I get it. I say pandering instead of woke. Daily Wire, yeah, like Daily Wire. I just stopped watching them 2 or 3 years ago. I stopped watching them. Yeah, Ben Shapiro is Israel first. Oh yeah, I say that word a lot. Like, I'm old school whack. That shit fucking whack. I'm like I said, I'm America first. Like, I don't really want to speak on like the whole Israel and Palestine, because that's like that shit can get you just that shit can just wipe your whole platform out. That shit can, niggas are freezing your bank accounts and shit like that. So I don't really try to talk about the whole Israel and Palestine thing, but all I'm saying is I'm America first. America first, baby. I love my country. And I haven't been catching up, but I've been noticed people have been posting about the Winter Olympics, where there's a lot of Americans shit talking America. Like, that's the shit that pisses me off. You know what I'm saying? America is the land of opportunities. And the fact is that I hate when people talk so bad about America, like it's the worst place to live. And yet you're the most free compared to any other country in the world. If you hate this country so much, fucking leave. If this country is so racist, so misogynistic, so patriarchal, then fucking leave. That's how I see it. Now, I'm not saying that you can't criticize, because I mean, any country could be criticized, but the way people talk about how much they hate this country, they burn the American flag, it makes me sick to my fucking stomach, because of the freedoms that you have, and the people who fight for the freedom that you have to say the shit that you say. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing that makes me mad the most is for you to hate this country so much. Why is, and the thing is, when you have immigrants that come here with that rhetoric about this country, I'm like, hold up for a second. You fucking left your fucking shithole country. You left your country to escape the nonsense of your third world country to come here. Then you could have just stayed there. You should have just stayed there. You came here and you wanted the American dream. You wanted the American pie. And you turn around, like how these voice actors do. You get an opportunity and you turn around and you shit on the same people that gave you the fucking opportunity. And it's the same way. You escaped your fucking country. You escaped your country to come here just for you to talk shit about it. Because it's all about virtue signaling. That's all it's about. It's all about virtue signaling. And that's what makes me sick to my stomach. Like, you hate this country so much, but you want to benefit from it. You want to take advantage of the system itself, but you hate this country. If it's so much of a white supremacist country, why are people getting on boats, jumping borders, and literally are dying to come here? If it's so racist here, that's what boggles my mind. You might as well stay where the fuck you at. And then when they get deported back, they start crying and all this everything. I'm like, wait a minute. This country is the most hated country. This country is the most racist. I don't get it. Why are you crying that you went back to your place, back to where you came from? Why, like you make it make sense. So what are your thoughts on Marvel? I don't care about Marvel Wolverine. I didn't care about Marvel Spider-Man either. So on to the next subject. It was no different from the woke, just the inverse, where they make fun of them, which was the problem. Say God Gang remembered a ninju. if you if they're going to be funny about it, try to be like American Dad. I said that and when I saw my Daily Wire with their cartoons, I said Simpsons, especially the older Simpsons in Family Guy and American Dad, they do it the right way. South Park do it the right way, but it was too on the nose. I'm like, this shit is corny. Am I getting blocked? Why you say that? Monstrum? Exactly, because now I see people on social media trying to make others feel bad for liking and praising Expedition 33, calling it slop. And I'm like, why do y'all care so much? Just shut the fuck up and play games. It said fatigue feels like an implanted word to me. Well, because black fatigue, because the word black fatigue, like I said, words have meaning. And words can get hijacked. Because you gotta remember, black fatigue wasn't just made up out of nowhere. Black fatigue was made up by black people. And it was black people, it was black people tired of white people. They're fatigued. They're tired of being around white people because of racism and all this other type of stuff. That was the term of black fatigue. That was the original term of black fatigue. And as I said before, when you start using that term, to slam other groups of people, those same people is going to take that term and flip it around. That's just how it works. That's just how it works. It's a scene here. After seeing a few videos of some stuff, I was good off Daily Wire. Yo, what's up, Landon? I agree. Yeah, other people are bringing Palestine into this. What's the character design that you want to do but haven't yet? That's a good question. A character design I haven't. Well, I can't. If I answer that, then that's going to spoil something. Because there's a lot of designs I haven't done yet, and if I say that I haven't done it yet, and that's something I want to do, then you have an idea where I'm going for. So I really can't answer that because there's a lot of genres too that you'll be surprised that Venus Orion Comics is going to introduce to the universe. And you say, "Oh man, I didn't think Mugen Lord would go with this genre." I'm for this. So that would actually spoil things. I think one thing that missing is the lack of solutions and establishing principles of the medium. Using a lot of the space is an echo chamber and no way out. That's why I like that you're creating. Oh yeah. That's the problem with social media too. That's it. And I was about to touch bases on that, but you made me bring up the conversation even more. Echo chambers is the worst thing that came out of social media, because social media, now you're able to lock yourself in your own bubble with people that only agree with you. This is why people can't have Discord. That's why people see Discord and confrontation as oppression, or they see it as racism and many other, and misogyny and all kinds of other stuff. You know what I'm saying? They see it as that because they have their own echo chamber with people that never gives them pushback. People today see pushback as hatred today, when all I'm doing is just disagreeing with you, and I'm giving you my opinion. And also with echo chambers also done, you never have to fight your position. You never have to stand on your belief. That's why people's belief, a lot of people who have a certain belief or a certain ideology, the reason why it falls apart is because their ideology is never tested, because they're always in an echo chamber. Think of echo chambers. Think of ideology like a martial arts, where you have a martial arts, whatever martial arts you may have, right? You have a unique system, or you have a system that you introduced, and now you have students. These students come underneath you. You teach them the system. You put it on social media, and people talk about how cool your system is, how deadly your system is. But there's one flaw to your system. Your system has never been tested. It's only been tested within your school or within the discipline of the system itself. But it never been tested and stress tested outside the system. So now your students look up to you as this grand master. Your technique is deadly and all this other type of stuff. And then one day you get challenged by a completely different system that's outside of your system. And then you go out there and you perform and you get your ass kicked. And now your system has so many flaws. It's been revealed that your system that you have built, their echo chamber that you're in, that people kept telling that you're awesome, your system is deadly, your system it works, but it never been tested. And then somebody comes in and tests that shit and it falls apart. And just like most people who are smart, who have echo chambers and built platforms, what they would do is they will avoid confrontation. So their system is never, their ideology or their system is never tested. So since they have all the protection of their echo chamber and social media and the media itself that protects them, they'll never have to prove themselves. And they'll continue to pass on. They'll continue to pass on their rhetoric, propagandize people, and create more delusional people because they're not being tested. And that's what's going on today with echo chambers. I don't even watch iDubbbz in Anissa, but from what I've seen from Kino Casino, that's been covering them. Like iDubbbz just fell from grace, and Anissa, iDubbbz is just a fucking simp. But I wasn't really a big fan of iDubbbz anyway. His content wasn't my kind of content. Think them. We don't want that shit. A lot of Uncle Ruckus going around. My exact sentiments, because if this country is so bad, why are people trying to come here all of a sudden? Exactly. People are weird, bro. Education has been controlled for years. And yup. Whoa, Mugen, American Pie. That's a bit spicy. No. Facts. Why are you talking crap and glorifying the place you ran from? It's fine to have some gripes, but why are you here? They come here with complain. My dad had to crawl through a bunch of dead corpses just to get to America. If you come to our country for any reason at all, at least get the land you are planting your feet in some respect. Yeah, because you know what? Because because when I look at the Olympics and when I look at other countries, right, you have foreigners who would come here, right, and still raise up the flag of their motherland. They're still putting up the flag of their motherland. They are still patriotic and still loyal to their mother country when they come here. A lot of them are. And here it is. We don't even have that type of patriotism for our own country, for our own flag. How are you going to the Olympics shit talking your own country while other countries speak highly of their countries despite the issues that their country have? They're still patriotic towards their country. But it also goes to show how privileged Americans are. Americans always talk about privilege, white privilege, all kinds of privilege, but they fail to realize how privileged they are as Americans. Because a lot of the shit that they spew, other countries can't spew the shit that they spew. Other countries can't even speak bad about their own leaders, their own government leaders, because they can get thrown in prison. Some of them can even get executed. But yet you can shit talk Donald Trump. You can say all kinds of shit about our presidents. And nothing can be done. Like you won't get executed. You won't get hung. You won't get killed. But try that in North Korea. Try that in China with Xi Jinping, whatever, however you pronounce his name. Try those in different countries and see how far you go. Go to them Arab speaking countries. Go to the Muslim countries and see can you pull that shit off. And yet you can do that shit here in America and you talk so much shit. That's how I never realized how patriotic I am until 2016. I never realized how much I love this country because I realized how blessed I am living here. And I'm an American. Like I said, my ancestry come from slavery and shit like that. I was born here. You know what I'm saying? But 2016 taught me more and more to appreciate where I come from, my country. Because I see all the disdain, the brainwashing that people say about this fucking country. Do you remember those black lesbians? It was a couple years ago where they got on the plane. I think it was going to Dubai or it's going to one of those Middle Eastern countries. The moment they got got off the plane, they got arrested because they were gay. They were lesbians. They got arrested. and they were Americans. Don't you understand what I'm saying here? In America, you can be whatever the fuck you want. No matter how delusional you are. You can be straight, gay, non-binary. You can be all these things that you want to be. And you have the freedom to do it. And those black women who were lesbians fucked around and found out when they got on that plane and went to that country. The moment they got off the plane, they got arrested. But yet this country is the worst place to be. Make it make sense. Mm-hmm. Least spoilers as possible. Yeah, that's understandable. Female furry characters. Oh, female furry characters. I'm not going to comment on that. Tell me what's a pioneer. Yeah, that was when the moment Tumblr. Because remember, if you guys don't know, I'm also a 3D hentai artist. I make a shit ton of money making hentai. Right. I was on Tumblr first when Tumblr allowed the adult content. I was there first. Most of those left-wing loonies was on Tumblr first. It wasn't until Tumblr passed that policy to disallow adult content. And the reason why Tumblr was so popular was because of the adult content. Because when you have adult content, you have all that other type of stuff. It brings in a certain crowd of people, right? So Tumblr started making a lot of money, right? And the moment Tumblr started making a lot of money, they wanted investors, and they realized. And so they had this idea, this corporate idea that we won't look attractive to investors if we got porn and adult content on our platform. That's why they disavowed it, and that's why Tumblr fell apart after that. Since Tumblr disavowed it, all the left-wing loonies, the wokies, they all left Tumblr and moved over to Twitter. They all went there. They all made an exodus over there. Oh yeah, I love Zenless Zone Zero character designs. I love their fucking designs. Love it. One of the pioneers. I mean, if you plan to talk shit about America, country, you can stay here. Great analogy. In Blue Sky, it's literally an echo chamber. Exactly. And they all eat, like in Blue Sky, they all eat each other. And this is the funny part. Most of the pedophiles went over to Blue Sky. So that tells you something. I don't know if I asked you before. Do you drive a Honda by Mugen? No, I don't have a Honda. I have a Ford Focus. Stress test is the best type of testing. Yep, I guess it's tested. All right. Yep, if it's a rise, a stress test is sturdy at least. Tai Chi prime example. Yeah, there was an MMA fighter who beat this. I can't remember his name. This Chinese MMA fighter, man. He exposed a lot of Chinese martial arts, and that's the thing. When I really started going on social media and started watching YouTube videos about martial arts, and I saw that Chinese MMA fighter who exposed a lot of Chinese martial arts, man, that day it was like me. It was like me it's like a kid discovering Santa Claus is not real, because martial arts. I grew up watching martial arts films. It looks so badass. You would look at your favorite martial artists and say, "Oh man, they will kick ass in real life." But then when I actually started seeing the martial arts actually take place in a real life environment and be stress tests, it doesn't work. It's actually ass. And you can get your ass kicked. It doesn't look as beautiful and as cool as it look on television and in movies. And the entire developers listen to social media name trust that we hate our own country. That's true about the respect. You go to Japan, you constantly told to respect the culture, but the same doesn't apply to USA. Yeah. And that's the problem. That's the thing that pisses me off about the mindset here with a lot of these people in America, where we have to have a different standard from every other country, especially when it comes to immigration and shit, when it comes to the illegals and everything. We should just open our borders to every fucking body under the sun and shit like that. But Japan, they don't play that shit. Iran don't play that shit. Mexico don't play that shit. China damn sure don't play that shit. Russia don't play that shit. Every other country have borders. You know what I'm saying? And they will fuck you up if they find out that you here illegally, or you getting punished. There's going to be some consequences. But for some strange reason, when it comes to Americans in America, we both just have our borders open to every fucking body. Like they make fucking sense. Why are we held to a different standard? Why we got to be open to everybody else while every other country can protect their own borders? But that's propaganda. Oh, style joke. Remember back in the day how we used to recite the national anthem? We need to bring that back up. You can be proud of your country without going full in nationalist mode. Oh yeah, you can. That's true too. We can talk whatever shit we want because we have weapons. No other reason. Every day we had to recite in elementary school. Like, we should count our blessings as Americans because we do say and live the way we want. Yup. And they want to remove those blessings via forced ID verifications. Oh yeah. All right, we're gonna talk about that. Yeah, let's talk about that. Draws homosexuality, freedom of speech are not so liberating in other countries. America, what's with the appeal going in the anyway? I'm sure it'll be, but I gotta find out. You got any links? Is it something that must be found? Wait, let me see. Yeah, but do. Yes, let me see the comments. She added. Person Tumblr was a mistake. Mugen is a famous company in Japan. Yeah, I know a Mugen. Yeah, I know the Mugen because I remember we're typing Mugen back in the day. That would pop up. Bro agrees. Yeah, you know it's funny if you talk to legal immigrants and they are some of the most patriotic people. Yeah, because they appreciate it. Super Tai Chi masters don't even know the Tai Chi is a wrestling art. I watched this video by Asian martial artist who's playing Wing Chun doesn't work. Yeah, Wing Chun doesn't work in real life. That's why I believe that. In my personal opinion, that's why I believe. That's why I believe that Bruce Lee had created Jeet Kune Do. Was it called Jeet Kune Do? What's Bruce Lee's art that he made? Where he preached about taking what works from each martial arts to mix it together to create a style. And I believe the only reason why he probably came up with that idea, because you remember that mysterious fight against Bruce Lee had with this guy named Wingman Jack or whatever his name is. I believe that Bruce Lee went in there because he practiced Wing Chun. I believe Bruce Lee went in there to fight the Jackman guy and got his ass kicked and realized that shit doesn't work. And I think because of that, that gave him an epiphany to take the best styles from different martial arts to create the style that he created, which I think is the Jeet Kune Do, right? Any martial arts just mean formless form. And yeah, because it's Chinese name. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so that's my personal opinion. I believe that he got his ass kicked and realized that this shit don't work. And it's like, you know what? It's like, it's let's put it, let's do it, let's create something new. That's what my personal opinion. It has two slurs in it. Oh yeah. Pacquiao. He's a legendary boxer. Anybody who says that people brag is and say and make a claim that somebody's the next Bruce Lee is a fraud. And this is what I learned. This is what I learned. Like because DKO, that's his name, DKO. And I was following this guy to see because I wanted somebody to stress test him because he was so cocky and he talked to so much shit. I was like, somebody need to stress test this dude. And and people say, "Oh man, he's fast like Bruce Lee." This is what people gotta understand. Speed doesn't mean strength, because at the end of the day, when it comes to real fights, I mean professional fights. I'm not talking about street fights. Anything that happened in a street fight, size, like when you have two unexperienced fighters, size doesn't matter much. It's all about who knows what they're doing, or who like you know what I'm saying. If you can understand what I'm saying, but when you have a professional fight, size do matter. Strength does matter. It does. And just because DKO punches fast and all that type of stuff, it doesn't have any power behind it. And all that movement he's doing, he's tiring himself out. He said Terry T was known to be a Bruce Lee hater. Bruce realized in his college days how he isn't effective, so he venting and what he knew. When Bruce Lee went to America, he learned judo and a bit of boxing and taekwondo. He says, I'm going to go eat and probably hop on something. All right, Sonic, man. Appreciate it. Been watching, what, JJK? Talking about Jujutsu Kaisen? No, I haven't caught up with it. I'm still got one more episode to watch on season 1. Like, I've been watching the most recent anime that I watched. It was during like the Christmas break. I watched Farron for the first time and fell in love with it. Fell in love with Farron. I love that anime. It's so, how can I say it? It's like the characters are great, but the story itself, man, it makes you think about life and cherish life, man. Because Farron, since she's an elf, she can live for thousands of years and never hardly age, and make you think about a lot of things. Like, why would you want to forming connections with people? If you're a person that can live forever, forming connections with people doesn't really matter to you. Having sex, breeding, offsprings doesn't matter because you can live forever. There's no urgency, and it's such a heartwarming. It's such a heartwarming like anime is because once her friend had got old and died, it made her reevaluate her life and how she see life and try to understand life of human beings, because human beings and many other races in that universe, life is not infinite. It doesn't last forever. Eventually you die. You know what I'm saying? So even though she's over 1,000 something years old, she's still like a child. She doesn't understand certain concepts because she doesn't need to know certain concepts about life itself because she can live forever. And to watch your friends and loved ones get older and older as you don't age at all. Some people say they want to live forever, but I wouldn't want to live forever. I would like to live for a long time, but I wouldn't want to live forever. Outliving your children, outliving the people, outliving your wife, outliving your parents, and outliving everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, you live on while they die, eventually die, and then you start new relationships, and then they die. That's a that seems like a nightmare. That seems like a punishment. That seems like a hell in a sense. You know what I'm saying? And you can't die like of age. That's not a way I would want to live. You know, and because also the reason why humankind evolved the way it does, because they know they can die. You have more urgency to invent things and try to better your life because you know your time here on this planet isn't forever. You get what I'm saying? But if you can live forever, you have no incentive to progress through anything because you can live forever. You have all the time in the world to do whatever you want to do. You have all the time in the world because you can live forever. So I love that anime, man. It makes you think about things like that. And you have also and also watching, and I also see this in my real life with older people and watching Farron as well. As people get older, death is something they're not like that. A lot of older people is not afraid of. They're welcome to death because death is the next part of life in a sense. It's an unknown. You live long enough to see what the world has to offer. The only next best thing is death because it's unknown. You don't know where you're going after death. And if you're a religious person, and especially if you're a Christian, you believe in Jesus Christ and everything, and you believe in heaven and the afterlife, you look even more forward to it as you get older. Your body is frail. You're not as active as you used to. So this shell can no longer do the things you used to do when you were young. So you look more forward to death. And if you're a Christian, you look forward to going to heaven and being with Jesus and the Lord himself and stuff like that. You look forward to that journey and stuff. And I'm starting to I'm and looking at the anime, it's the same way with some of the characters. You know, death is coming for them. Death is knocking on their door and stuff like that. And there's characters in there that don't fear it. You know what I'm saying? It's a natural thing and stuff like that. And what's like being young, and I'm 40. I shouldn't be thinking about death, but I'm going on 40 next year and stuff. And as I get older, my dad gets older, my mom gets older. You know, both my grandparents, they're gone now. You know what I'm saying? I got one more grandparent left. That's my grandmother on my mom's side. You know, she's the only one left, and after that, I ain't gonna have any more grandparents. You know, and so as I think about as I get older, and I look at my daughter, she'll be 18 next year. My father's getting older. My mom's getting older. You know, at that they're getting to that point in their life that they're not going to be here forever. You get what I'm saying? And talking to my dad, he's at retirement age, and he's also thinking about things like that as he's older. Like, you know, he also said too, like, there's also YouTube channels for people who's turning 60. And that's crazy. There's YouTube channels for people who's turning 60, like how to view, how to look at life and what to prepare for in life. Like, my dad started realizing that collecting things doesn't mean anything anymore as he get older, because he's looking at his life saying, yo, like, I may have another 20 to 30 more years left to be on this world. So collecting things doesn't really matter. And of course, like, cause when you're going, your kids has to, you know, figure out what to do with that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So as he gets older, collecting things doesn't mean anything. A lot of things in life start to mean less as you get closer to that age, you know? What do you think of the great feminization? Or what is that? 1 second. There's so many of you guys. Andy Pacquiao, Bruce Lee. I disagree about a lot of things in fights because I think size is most important things. Thing is skill. I never lost a fight because I'm 6 feet pound. Racist hat. For old people. Racist elf and you watch Fair and Hell? Yes, man. My favorite show is Desire Decade. Yeah. Martial arts have in mind. How many seasons of Farron? I think it's only one season so far. I think. I mean, it's basically you don't know what you have until it's going. Pretty much. Is it Bruce Lee incarnated? I gotta watch that and hit my life hard right now. Yeah, dude. I didn't know how much because people kept saying, like, because you know me, I'm a person that don't watch animes that people glaze too much. I normally wait for years to go by before I watch it and stuff. Because most time when people glaze certain animes, I end up watching it. It's not what it ends up not being what people was glazing it. Like, I'm like, this was the hype and stuff like that. But Farron, man, that shit spoke to me. And a lot of animes today don't do that. That shit literally spoke to me. It's a beautiful anime, beautiful soundtrack, interesting characters, and it makes you think. It makes you think about life, your whole outlook on life, and how you view things, and especially like I said before, as you get older, like in death, you know, like in it's a beautiful. It's just beautiful, man. I love it. The only thing that I don't like about Farron so far is that I know it's not the premise of it, but when it comes to like the magic battles and stuff, she's just too OP. And not just that, her apprentice, is too OP. Like there's no, I never got a sense of danger that Farron and her apprentice is ever in, is because they overcome it easy, so easy. So easy. That's why that's the only thing that I don't like too much about Farron is the battles and stuff, because it focuses on magic and stuff like that. And so far, Farron and her apprentice, those two girls, those two chicks are OP. They OP as fuck. They're OP as shit or whatever like that. So when they had that magic tournament, that trials and tournament, that trial thing they had, I never got a sense of danger. But I never felt at the edge of my seat or whatever like that. Like they just overcome shit. That's the only gripe that I do have with Farron. I know that you could game though. But it just reminds me when I take care of my grandpa. It's your fan on. Bruce Lee didn't lose. He actually beat him, but he said that everything he learned it. I'm not personally against immortality. To give us more time in the universe and more collecting things. It helps if you're making. But if it doesn't mean anything to your kids, then it's just a man called the cops are holding a sign that says trans women are men. Epstein was trying to live forever too. You can trying to live forever. I like that. I'm 29. I see myself having also more like things in me. Most I hear, but I hear what you're saying. Appreciating life if there's a beginning, middle, there was an opportunity. Have a great day. I'm going to play Metaphor. Oh, thanks for sticking through. I may need to check out Farron. I haven't watched Soul Leveling. I haven't bothered to watch it. Probably won't watch it. That's a lot of anime. I feel nowadays. You know, always memes and enough. Most of them outdated. On the Farron. Yeah, exactly. They cloned. That's the only thing that gave her trouble. Yeah, so that was the thing about Farron that I just didn't really like, was just the battles. They were just too easy. But other than that, great anime. I'm looking forward to the next season because it was really really good. So that's the season I'm looking forward to. But yeah, man. That's that as far as that's concerned. As far as anime, that's the only thing that's the only thing I've watched as of recently. I don't really spend time watching anime a lot because, as I said before, anime are time killers. And as a person that got Venus Orion comics and I got so much things going on in my life, that would just literally kill time. And I would never accomplish anything if I sit down and watch anime. So I have to be selective of when to watch it. And at the time during the Christmas holiday, my computer was in the computer repair. So I had no computer at the time. All I had was my game consoles. So I spent that time on Netflix just watching animes and stuff to catch up on stuff. So I don't know when the next time I'm gonna watch another anime and sit down and enjoy an anime, because now my computer's back and I'm working and stuff like that. I don't know when I'm gonna have that time. So that's pretty much essentially that when it comes to watching anime and stuff. But yeah, man, it's just been crazy social media. Now the Discord situation, and I meant to talk about this Discord. What's going on about they want to start doing facial scans or ID verifications and shit like that. I find it kind of funny that this shit is now they're going to start talking. They start talking about this shit right when the Epstein files is a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like now that the Epstein files are slowly coming out, now all of a sudden we have these verifications. And in my personal opinion, I don't think it's just a coincidence. I think the fact is that they don't want people to start spreading this information around. They don't want people to spread this information. That's my personal opinion. They don't want people spreading this stuff. Like, because they know, in my personal opinion, I think that the powers that's running these corporations, especially like Discord, a lot of these motherfuckers was fucking with Epstein. A lot of them, or had some ties to Epstein in some way. or whatever the deep state power is. And I think that for them doing that is to try to slow the bleed, down, because they know something big is about to come as far as reveals, and shit is about to get out. The shit they don't want to get out is going to get out, and they want to slow it down. They want to be able to funnel it. And putting out this identifications is another way to slow it down, to stop people from trading this information, sharing this information, and spreading this information around. You know what I'm saying? That's why I believe. Oh yeah, no, did y'all see? Did y'all see that? Like, people, it may sound silly to y'all, but did y'all see that it said Epstein is still alive? Now, hear me out. This is what people were saying, because from the Epstein documents and with 4chan, say what you want about 4chan, but them 4chan niggas, they be on some shit at times. But all right, so this is what they were saying about Epstein still being alive. If you don't know, Epstein also had an Xbox Live account during the was the Xbox 360. During the Xbox 360 era, he was banned from Xbox Live. Now, some people were saying that this was during the time that him and Bill Gates had a falling out with each other too, and it was just a coincidence during the time they had a falling out with each other. He also get banned on Xbox Live. Now, we also found out that he also used the Robux, whatever they call it for Fortnite. He also has a Fortnite account. He played Fortnite. He also get the Robux or whatever they call it for Fortnite. I don't know the bucks or whatever the names are, the currency, the money that you get for Fortnite. So they said he also had a Fortnite account that he used money and he spends that money and this, that, and the third. They were saying that the account was active. The account was active all the way up until the day he got arrested. Yeah. They said that the Fortnite account that Epstein had was stopped being active the day he got arrested. Just went ghost after that. Now, Epstein has supposed to have suicided, right? He had supposed to have died. Now, niggas at 4chan started digging up his email, because remember, you can find he has an email address in the Epstein files. They started tracking the email address, and they started finding things that's associated with their email address. They end up finding out that this nigga has another, recently, not too long ago, that this nigga has another, they traced it, another username that Epstein uses right now that's on Fortnite that's currently playing in Fortnite. Now, what happened was Asmongold and many other people started making videos about it. And it got so much traction on social media, all of a sudden, the account went inactive after that. It stopped after that. So if somebody was a troll and that just happened to use that same name that Jeffrey Epstein used when he plays online, then why stop? You know, if it's not that person, you know what I'm saying? But that account stopped once light was spreaded on it. Then Epic Games came out and said that's not true or something like that. That's not true. You know, we would know this, that, and the third. But then when people will check out that profile or something like that and look at the history been wiped out. So people believe that the Epic Games may know something, could be hiding something, or whatever like that. So that's that. That's you can go look it up. You can go look it up. Quote. He's on some big balls. Venom Snake. Chan niggas know it. Yeah, 4chan niggas know everything. In the files, he said he was funding research for a way for him to live to forever. Yep. And that's that he wants his head and his is preserved so that he can find a way to live in the future. And they was doing that censoring ID crap even after the T app situation. They was doing so much outside releasing the files. They always want the control regardless of the reasons. There might be evidence that they framed Michael Jackson. Oh yeah, for sure. Epic Games. I'm not surprised. I haven't seen it hella. Yeah. So now this is the thing that upsets me about all this. This is the thing that upsets me about all this. All right. The Epstein's files are out, and you gotta read some of this shit. They're eating fucking children, bro. They're eating children. They're abusing children. They're eating children. They're doing shit to infant babies. They're torturing people. And what's so crazy about it is, this the crazy part. This the crazy part about this. Now that we know this information, right? Why is no one protesting out in the streets? Motherfuckers are outside protesting motherfuckers who do not belong in this country. They're fighting, they're protesting against ICE, they're protecting illegal immigrants, they're protecting criminals, they're doing all kinds of shit. They're taking over neighborhoods, they're burning shit down, and yet no one is protesting this shit. No one is protesting this shit. They're literally eating babies, eating children. They're torturing women, and they're also abusing boys too. They're doing all kinds of shit. No one is protesting. Everybody's going on about their lives. And guess what? Guess what? This is not a left or right thing. Both sides are in on this. Republicans and Democrats. They're all in on this. They're all in on this. And what pisses me off about this entire thing with the Epstein's files, from both sides, a lot of motherfuckers don't care about the children. A lot of motherfuckers don't care about the abuse that people went through by these people, by these monsters. All they care about is who's president or whose politician is in the documents. The left don't care about these kids. All they care, because before, when people on the right was bringing up the Epstein files and wanted to release, the left didn't care about it. CNN, the mainstream media didn't care about it. The moment they thought or had an inkling or there was some type of hint that Trump was on it, then everybody gave a fuck on the left. No one cares. Most people the people that can declare only care is if Trump is in it and if Bill Clinton is on it, and et cetera, et cetera. No one really cares about the Epstein files in general. It's about which side looks the dirtiest. And this is where the division come in. This is a test. This is a test. And what I mean by a test, now that these files, and even though these files are redacted, you're still getting information. You're still getting information, right? But here's the real test. As the information still slowly drips out, and you finding out more and more that these people are monsters. These people are literal vampires. That's why you should buy my book, Varian Keller's Vampire Killers. These people are literal vampires. These people are literal vampires. They suck on the blood of people. They sacrifice people. They're eating people. As I said before, this is the real test. Who is to say that the whole plan is to put this out here to see how we respond? That they're purposely putting this out here to see how we respond to it. Because if we don't go out here and protest and call this shit out after this shit comes out and nothing is done, it's over. It's over. They're going to do it in front of our face, and we ain't gonna do shit about it. What they're doing right now is dividing us. They're dividing us from left, right, black, white, man, woman, gay, straight. They're dividing us because there's a lot of people that's doom and gloom. Nothing's going to happen. And they're right. Nothing's going to happen as long as both sides don't come together. Because in order for them to be held accountable, both sides have to stop fighting each other for a minute and come together and protest and call this out together. Both sides have to put pressure on these people. But as long as both sides are fighting each other, they can get away with this shit. They will get away with this shit. And the moment that all these files come out and nobody stands up and people don't get together and start burning this shit down for them harming children and doing the shit that they're doing to people, then they're gonna outright do the shit in front of our face, and we ain't gonna do shit about it. They're gonna do it in front of our face. They ain't going, and this time the trafficking is going to be even more. It's going to be even more brutal in your face. They're going to ramp up the trafficking. The moment all this shit come out and shit is not going to be done about it, and people's not going to, it's not going to protest and not going to hold these people accountable. Trafficking is going to go through the roof. It's going to go through the roof because now they can say, "Yo, we can just take anybody, and people ain't going to do shit about it. They're not going to give a fuck. They're going to just go on about their lives, play their video games, go to the movies, talk about shit that doesn't really matter, and we can just do what we want now." They will have free reign to do it out in the open because no one is going to stand up and fight this shit. Yeah. Which is, I'm getting the vampire conversation. That this is perfect material for your story, and that's the perfect tie-in. Only you could advertise like this all the time. Yeah. But this is the whole point of Varian Keller's Vampire Killers, the Vampire Society itself, the Oskam Order. There's a lot of shit. A lot of shit that's underneath society that everybody is either choosing to be blind about and ignore, or they're part of that system. VK touches this shit, but it's done in a more of a comic and vampire type of aspect of things, and I can't wait. I can't wait for you guys to. You definitely, I suggest you go support my comic book, Varian Keller's Vampire Killers. I'm telling you, like, you guys gonna be in for a treat when we get deep into this shit with the Oskam Order. But that's the sad part. No one gives a shit. No one gives a shit. And I said this on my social media. We're sitting here out, like, you got these dumb motherfuckers out here fighting against ICE, protecting illegal immigrants, protecting criminals and stuff, especially in these Democrat-run cities that's protecting these criminals and shit like that. But yet no one is out here. We already found out that our own government and a lot of these institutions are robbing us of our money with a lot of money fraud. A lot of money scandals are going on with our tax dollars. And we have Americans who can barely feed their families. They can barely afford to pay their rent. They can barely afford to pay their mortgage. Motherfuckers got to work 2 to 3 jobs just to pay bills. How come we not protesting the government for that? But we're protesting against ICE. Make it make sense. Can you make it make sense to me? Why aren't we protesting against against fraud, against our money being used, being mismanaged and funneled? How come we not protesting against that? Why are we protesting against the elites that's fucking with our children, that's eating people? Why are we out in the streets doing that? Why aren't we doing that? We are fighting the wrong things. We are fighting the wrong things. They said where they want to was right. Kid from natural disaster is play cover for these people. Yup. Do you think some of those rappers and actors were actually like this is the thing. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about this is why I hate this whole left and right argument with the Epstein files. Because the thing that really pisses me off about this whole thing with the Epstein files, you have people on the left saying, yeah, Trump is in it, this, that, and the third, this person, that person. And then now all of a sudden, the moment the Epstein files come out and you hear names like Jay-Z, you hear other names of people that you look up to or people that you see as a role model, then all of a sudden the files is all of a sudden cap. No, this can't be real. That's cap. That's not real. You like pick a lane. Either the Epstein files are real or it's fake. It can't be real when you want Trump to be on it or any other politician you hate, but then a politician or a celebrity that you like is in the files and all of a sudden it's cap. This is why they're going to get away with it. Because there's a lot of people who still who's reading the Epstein files. There's still people who's reading the Epstein files right now and still don't believe that shit. There's people right now that still don't believe that shit. And this is how they're going to get away with it. It's up as the people. The people, we have to hold them accountable. We can't expect our politicians, the same motherfuckers that's in the files, we can't expect them to hold these motherfuckers, to hold themselves accountable. We can't expect them to do that. It's up to us as the people to hold them responsible. But we can't hold them responsible if we're fucking fighting each other and you got fucking sheeps and you got fucking people who still asleep who don't believe anything that they're reading. You got people that's literally believing that this shit, like, no, man, it's like a Hollywood movie. You got people that literally believe that. A lot of people, it sounds crazy that it couldn't be possibly real. That they are for real and they've been programmed and had ideas fed to them the best way that they condition. Also, a lot of people just straight up don't read. Yeah. And that's the fucking problem, man. That's the problem. So the fact that Jay-Z as Uber and no one did anything about it make me, yeah. Celebrity, vampires, and elites. Yup. 4 jobs, 40 plus hours. We can combat this, but not illegals hoarding it. Luigi was the scariest person to know in a long time. Not a Hollywood movie. Some of the stuff that's happened, yeah. Like Hollywood put this shit. You ever? If I would advise you, is a movie with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. I advise you, if you haven't watched the movie called Eyes Wide Shut, watch that movie. It speaks about the Illuminati, Hollywood, and how the industry itself, not just Hollywood, but also corporate America, everything, how the world is controlled by these elites and these parties that's be going on, the sacrifices and all this other type of stuff. You need to watch this. It's called Eye Wide Shut. And the guy who created the film died. And because the movie is going to go for, they cut a 45 minutes in the film that was supposed to expose a lot of things. And the guy who created the film died before the film could finish. So all of a sudden, that last 45 minutes was cut from the film entirely. This shit been going on, and this is an old film. It's like the 90s. This shit been going on for a very long time. It has been going on for a very long time. And the funny thing about it was, Pizzagate is real. Pizzagate is real. Everybody who called people who called me a conspiracy theorist, this is all conspiracy theory. Pizzagate is not real. The media, these fucking brain dead people who never believed Pizzagate. All of it is real. Look at the documents. All of it is real. And it feels so crazy that everything that I said about this shit is true. And no one wanted to believe that shit. No one wanted to believe that shit. No one. But the shit is true. All of it. So now that it's true, what the fuck is the people going to do about it? All of it. Yeah, it's called Eyes Wide Shut. Look, it's a good film. Watch that film. And it's called Eyes Wide Shut. It's because your eyes are open, but it's shut. Because the elites, these sacrifices and these parties and all this other type of stuff is done right in front of your face. Your eyes are wide shut. Like, your eyes are open, but it's wide shut in a sense. It's done in front of your face, but your eyes are wide shut. Yeah. Mike Pondsmith warned us that why he makes red. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He said he didn't make Cyberpunk out of pure ambition. He made it to warn us. Yep. Hiding in plain sight. It's right in front of your face. But if you're a fucking sheep, you ain't gonna believe that shit. Oh, it's a movie. That's why Hollywood does it. Hollywood put this shit in movies. They're literally telling you what they're doing. And they put it in our movies. They put it in our entertainment. They put it in our commercials. They do it every day. And also the Epstein files are talking about school pictures. That they're taking that these elites take our children's school pictures. That's how these pedophiles, this is how these elites traffic our children as well. The school pictures, they're collecting them. They're collecting your children's school's pictures, and this is how they pick these children out as well. Always whoever we can't talk about is the ones in power. Mm-hmm. Movies are more than just art; it's also made with philosophy in mind. Mm-hmm. So are there just people in your universe that are willingly becoming vampires for power and status? You gotta see, bro. You gotta see chapter 2. I'm glad you asked that question. You just if you got the first book, you'll get some of that answered, or at least you get some of that introduced. I'll leave it at that. Chapter 2 is a lot of information in chapter 2 when it comes to the vampires and Neodelphia and society itself, and Varian Keller's Vampire Killer chapter 2. You'll see. I'm glad you brought that up. But there's some concepts that's being introduced in chapter 2. Wait, is there any question? It sucks. Yeah, man. And so, yeah, man, it's scary, man. It's scary. They protect your not just protect your children, man. If you're an uncle or if you're an aunt, protect your nieces, protect your nephews, because just because you don't have kids, your nieces and nephews are like your kids. You're the second parent whenever their parents aren't around, and they're left in your protection. You're like their parents too. You're their second parents. You're their backup parents. So your niece and your nephew, they're your kids too. When it all boils down to it, when shit gets real, they are your kids too. So you gotta look out for your nieces and your nephews as well. You know what I'm saying? Your little cousins and stuff like that, because this shit is real. And if they get away with it, they're gonna the trafficking is gonna get even worse. They're gonna double down even harder especially if they see that people's not gonna do shit about it. That this is a test. This is actually them testing the waters to see how we respond to all this. Yep. So, yeah, man, it's crazy, but that pretty much wraps up wraps up the stream. I'm streaming it tomorrow because I have a guest. He's part of our community. Code J-Man or J-Man. He's going to be on here. We're gonna be having discussions. He's gonna be talking about his YouTube channel, and I'll be interviewing him, asking a bunch of questions and stuff. He'll be taking questions from you guys, and we're gonna just have normal conversations as well. Tomorrow, and then I'll be streaming the State of Play, the Sony State of Play on Thursday. So lucky for you guys, you're getting some streams back to back. You have a stream tonight. You have a stream tomorrow with me and Code J, and then you have a stream again on Thursday with the State of Play. And I think that's going to be fun. I think that's going to be real. That's going to be real fun. I may have some guests on as well for the State of Play on Thursday. So I would love for you guys to come for the State of Play as well. And also, if you may get lucky and get a stream Friday as well. We'll see what's going to happen on Friday. But yeah, today, tomorrow, Thursday, and hopefully you may do one on Friday. So that's 4 streams back to back. And I appreciate you guys for stopping through as always. And you guys have a good night. And I'll be seeing you Game Fiends later. Peace out.